I don't know if you're feeling this, but there's something really wrong happening in this world. So lately, I did some deep research about what is happening in this world. Before I start explaining, let me take you to 1884. This one is for those who did history, don't know what I'm talking about. The Berlin West African Conference. That's where all this started. That's where a bunch of European leaders all decided to organize an invasion of Africa. No, not colonization, an invasion of Africa. Now, some of you argue me that I'm calling it invasion instead of colonization. The reason why I'm saying invasion is because in that meeting, the Berlin West African Conference in 1884, all European leaders were present. Every elite at that time that was ruling the world, every power was present. Except for, I'm sure you guessed it, yes, Africa. Yes, you get me right. The Europeans all decided to host a conference about Africa. And no African leader was invited or even had knowledge about its existence. In the meeting, they divided Africa like a piece of cake. France went on to colonize its own side of Africa, and Britain went on to colonize its own part of Africa. Not forgetting Germany and other Western powers who had interest in Africa. From that moment on, a system was born. A system to take resources from the poor and give them to the rich. Not just money, gold, cocoa, oil, or diamond, but people too. Yes, even people. And anybody with a sense of reasoning will know that that's not just colonization. That was an invasion and theft on a global scale. When they were deciding the fate of Africa in the Berlin West African Conference, and we all know in 1884 there were people living in Africa who had chiefs, who had rulers, but yet nobody asked their permission. They all just decided it was okay to share the territories of Africa and then come and claim it, even though they knew they were natives in Africa. Now, if you read the modern day description of an invasion, what does it say? An invasion is an instance of invading a country or a region with an armed force. Currently, like what we see in Russia and Ukraine. And if you all read history textbooks, they all tell a story of natives who resisted and was beaten, lynched, shot, or hung alive by these invaders. And yet we Africans still go around sugarcoating it, calling an invasion of our continent colonization. Remember how I started this video about something being really wrong with the world? It turns out this video was not only about Africa. It was about a deeply rooted problem happening in the whole wide world. Now, before you all flood in the comment section, bashing me and telling me to control the way I talk, let me tell you why you watching from the West also got your head stuck underwater. Now, in World War II, they told us the war was about freedom and justice. But if you look closer, you'll see something else. You'll notice that only the people who made weapons got richer, and banks also gave loans to both sides of the war. And oh, before I forget, after both wars came the rise of a new world organization like the UN and the IMF, not also forgetting the World Bank. Immediately after the war, all these newly created organizations came to help rebuild the world. But guess what? They all mostly helped the winning side. Same powerful countries kept calling the shots, while the poor countries were left with loans they couldn't pay, rules they couldn't make, and also leaders they couldn't change for truths. Fast forward to today, these same countries changed the tools, but not the goal. Instead of direct colonization, which I call an invasion, they are now using a new trick called neo-colonialism, where they will give poor countries independence, make them to think they own themselves. But these same countries with their so-called independence will still have to answer to the West. The IMF will give you loan, but the price you pay for it is very high. They'll cut your school, privatize your water supply, cut your health care, control your electricity supply, privatize your land and everything you ever own. Once again, the rich will get richer and richer. But oh wait, that's not all. It even gets more interesting from here. This is where the corporations came in. Have you ever heard of the BlackRock or Vanguard? They are owners, like literally owners. They own shares in every big company in the world. The oil, the tech, the media, the medicine, and the weapons industry. You never see them running for public offices or giving speeches, but they influence the law and they decide what we eat, wear, watch, and even believe. The media is no longer a watchdog. It's now a tool that keeps us busy. Busy fighting with left versus right, race versus race, poor people fighting other poor people. Meanwhile, the real rulers of this world stay hidden, creating celebrity shows to distract us. Real and authentic news get hidden or censored by big social media platforms. Those who ask real questions like me are mocked, cancelled, or killed. If that's not enough for you to think something's happening, if just by chance you think That's just a coincidence. Let me take you to the health sector. Have you ever asked yourself why some diseases are never cured, but yet we hear of new cures getting discovered every day? It's simply because big pharma profits more from treating people than healing them. Imagine if cancer had a one-time cure, then billions of people around the world will instantly get cured, and that's billions of dollars lost by big pharma. Why do you think each time a new virus shows up, the same pattern repeats itself? The government-induced lockdown. Companies like Pfizer start scrambling to make vaccines, and sudden silence falls around the origins of the virus. All these signs repeat each time there's a new virus, but somehow we don't ask why it repeats itself. Let me take you to space based on my own observation. The moon landing was real. NASA never staged any moon landing. They landed in the moon in 1969, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you the conspiracy theory surrounding this. If you do some deep internet research, you'll realize that during that time, NASA wasn't the only one scrambling to go to space. The Soviet Union also did, and they were desperate. So in this case, they acted as a third-party eye. Don't you think they would have reported to the world if NASA didn't go to the moon? And if any one of you were smart enough to actually create a rocket that goes to the moon, and you go to the moon, you see all NASA tech from the NASA lander back in 1969. Some of you may ask, have we gone back to the moon? The answer is no, not really, not in 50 years. And the government claim it's too expensive to go to the moon, but yet they've spent billions in war. They even abandoned billions worth in military equipment back in Afghanistan. And you still can ask why a country complaining about the budget spending in space will abandon billions worth of military equipment in another country. Some whistleblowers like David Koch even claim the government is hiding non-human technology, crash alien spaceships, and even bodies of non-human alien entities. And the Pentagon even admitted they have seen some things they cannot even explain. But I guess that still don't ring a bell in your head. And those of you claiming we can't go to space because there's a firmament above Earth, I can't really tell you whether this is true or not. The truth often depends on who is telling it. Let's talk about wars. Notice how it never ends. Ukraine, Iraq, Afghanistan, name it. Those are all active war zones still going on. People dying by their thousands. But yet, the people who started it are never the ones fighting it. Politicians are the ones making decisions about the wars. But you never hear any politician going to fight in the war. Every day in the news you hear about the soldier dying or a civilian dying. The characteristics of only those described as poor. Why the rich get richer, selling weapons. Construction companies, mostly owned by the government, stack up a lot of cash rebuilding, and the same cycle repeats itself again after every war using a different name. And yet I still ask myself again, why don't people wise up? And I am made with a simple answer: because the system is smart. It does this by keeping us tired, poor, afraid. It teaches us to obey and not to think. I mean, most of you will just obey what the government say without even thinking of what they're saying. Those of you in Europe, have you ever wondered why you can't walk 1 meter without a security camera pointing at you? Your own government is monitoring your every move. And people who say this and try to ask questions are punished. Most of the times they disappear without a trace. Journalists who try to speak the truth are killed, and whistleblowers are erased. Now I've come to that part of the video where most of you will be asking yourself, if all of this is going on in the world, who is benefiting from it? The answer is a small group of corporations, bankers, and unelected influencers. These are the people who decide wars, pandemics, and even the economy. These people live one way but sell another. They tell us to be frugal while they buy private islands. They tell us to trust science while they hide advanced technology from us. Promise equality, they build a system that guarantees inequality. By now you should have realized that what have happened before will happen again. All of this, all of what is happening right now in the world is a pattern. If you look deep, you find out more crises are coming. Viruses, pandemic, wars, and even financial crashes are coming. Each one of these upcoming events will bring us closer to dependence and centralized control. And most, if not all of us, will sell our freedom for safety. But there is hope. Their plan isn't invisible. is just hidden in plain sight. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is your food prices going up every year. Your rent being so high that you cannot even afford to eat anymore. Suffering being so common that people go into depression. This is real and your silence is planned. But now, I hope you have seen a piece of the puzzle. I hope now you know the truth. Make sure you share it, you speak it out. Do not be afraid. And most of all, you question everything you see, you hear, or somebody tells you. Because the only power those in power have is the power we give them by not asking why. This is a time to ask why. A time to say no. A time to join the revolution in Burkina Faso before we let silence completely take our rights away.